Hello guys, welcome back. And today I'm going to be ranking my top 10 best NHL prospects. Now there's a lot of talented prospects in today's NHL, but which prospects are the elite of the elite and which prospects crack the top 10? Watch till the end to find out. Now we're going to jump straight in, and at number 10, I have Adam Boqvist. He is a defenseman with the Chicago Blackhawks. At age 18, a Swedish-born defenseman. He was drafted 8th overall back in the 2018 NHL Draft, and I've always been a big fan of Boqvist, but he's had a great season so far in the OHL. Now, so far in the OHL, he has played 54 games, getting 20 goals, 40 assists for 60 points in the World Junior Championships with Team Sweden. He played 5 games, getting 1 goal, 3 assists for 4 points. In the playoffs with the OHL team, he played 4 games, getting 6 goals, 1 assist for 7 points so far in round 1 of the OHL playoffs. So he's had a pretty great season after coming from Sweden to North America. He's had a great start with the London Knights and has looked quite well, especially offensively, and the stats certainly show that. Now moving on to number 9, and at number 9 I have Morgan Frost. He's a center with the Philadelphia Flyers. He is 19 years of age, a Canadian. He was drafted 27th overall back in the 2017 NHL Draft, and so far in the OHL he just tore it up, being one of the most lethal guys throughout the OHL, being one of the NHL or being one of the OHL's leading scorers when it came to assists. He was just an absolute beast and is really looking like a stud in the making. Now in the OHL, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, he has played 58 games, getting 37 goals, 72 assists for 109 points. As a 19-year-old, of course. In the World Junior team, he played 5 games, getting 4 goals, 4 assists for 8 points. Very solid campaign with Team Canada. And in the playoffs with the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, he has played 5 games so far, getting 3 goals, 6 assists for 9 points. Very solid campaign so far. And of course, those regular season stats in the OHL are certainly impressive. While he does have a great team around him, Morgan Frost is the guy over there in the OHL. Now going on to number 8, and at number 8, I have Kirill Kaprizov. He is a right winger with the Minnesota Wild. He is at age 21 in the KHL, Russian-born stud. He was drafted 135th overall back in the 2015 NHL Draft. Obviously, being a pretty late draftee, he has made excellent strides since then and has looked like one of the most dynamic offensive prospects in the entire NHL. Now in the KHL so far with CSKA Moscow, he has played 57 games, getting 30 goals, 21 assists for 51 points. In the playoffs with the CSKA Moscow once again, he has played 12 games, getting 3 goals, 7 assists for 10 points. So those offensive numbers are certainly impressive, especially for a 21-year-old. I think he had more points per game last year, which just shows how good he is. But when it comes to the offensive potential that Kaprizov has, I think it's through the roof. With the Minnesota Wild, they really haven't had that superstar talent pretty much in their entire existence, but Kaprizov could fulfill that potential, especially if he wants to go over to North America, which right now looks pretty likely. Now going on to number 7, and at number 7, I have Cale Makar. He is a defenseman with the Colorado Avalanche. He is 20 years of age, Canadian, and was drafted 4th overall back in the 2017 NHL Draft. And Cale Makar went the college route, went the NCAA route after being drafted from the BCHL. He's taken his time a little bit compared to some other 2017 prospects, but it's looking really good right now. Now, in the NCAA so far this season, he has played 39 games, getting 16 goals, 32 assists for 48 points. As a defenseman, even though he's a little bit older than some prospects in that league, it still is super impressive numbers for what he's been putting up. Again, 48 points in any NCAA campaign is not easy to do, but Cale Makar has led UMass. He's been playing fantastic this season, and the offensive potential is what we're seeing this season when it comes to the overall game that he possesses. It is really good, and for the Colorado Avalanche, they kind of need that elite defenseman. Tyson Barrie is the closest thing to that, but I'm not sure if he has the all-around game, but Cale Makar definitely possesses that, and we've seen that so far in the NCAA, where he's just been absolutely dominant. But even though Cale Makar was drafted just after my boy Miro Heiskanen, I still feel like Cale Makar is going to be an elite defenseman in the NHL someday. Could be a very good one just next year in the NHL. He definitely has the potential, and right now, he's playing like maybe a top 4 defenseman right out of the gate. Now going on to number 6, and at number 6, I have Aleksi Heponiemi. He is a Florida Panthers prospect, center / right winger. He is 20 years of age, Finnish-born guy, drafted 40th overall back in the 2017 NHL Draft. And the Liga season that Heponiemi has had, and just the overall season that he's had, has really impressed me. And of course, I've always been a big fan of Heponiemi. Now, most people might know him because of the elite season that he had in the WHL last season, where he was just an assist machine, but the same thing has gone for him this season in the Liga. He has has played 50 games, getting 16 goals, 30 assists for 46 points. In the World Junior team with Team Finland, who obviously won the gold medal, he was a big part of it, playing 7 games, getting 3 goals, 6 assists for 9 points. In the playoffs with Karpat, he has played 5 games and has gotten 1 goal, 1 big goal, I may add. But when it comes to his overall season stats, the offensive potential is certainly there, and he is showing it in one of the best leagues in the world, in the Liga. Now heading into the top 5, and at number 5, I have Filip Zadina. He is a left winger with the Detroit Red Wings. He is at age 19, Czech-born player, was drafted 6th overall back in the 2018 NHL draft. And this season has been a little bit of a wonky one for him. He's been a little bit inconsistent, but overall, it's been a pretty great one, and he's been performing well in the AHL. Now with the Grand Rapids Griffins, the Detroit Red Wings affiliate in the AHL, he has played 54 games, getting 16 goals, 17 assists for 33 points. Pretty balanced attack when it comes to Zadina, and when it came to the 2018 draft, he did slip quite a bit, and when it came to him, we always thought he was going to be the 3rd overall pick behind Dalin and Svechnikov. He ended up dropping to the Detroit Red Wings, and we kind of see why that happened. He wasn't quite as NHL ready as I thought he was going to be. We saw that kind of in the World Juniors too, where he played 5 games, and only got 1 point, being 1 assist. And when it comes to the Zadina, I love his overall raw potential. We haven't seen it completely this season, but the AHL stats and the AHL performance are definitely a good factor towards his future. And again, Detroit can take their time with him. They're in the rebuild phase. They don't need him to be in the NHL, but I feel like he will be that regular next season. Now heading on to number 4, and at number 4, I have Erik Brannstrom. He is a defenseman with the Ottawa Senators organization. He is age 19, Swedish-born guy, drafted 15th overall back in the 2017 NHL draft by the Vegas Golden Knights. Of course, he was the biggest part of the Stone deal, sending Stone to the Vegas Golden Knights, but man, what a player, and he's going to be brilliant, especially next season. Now, I could gush about Erik Brannstrom for days, but the stats really do tell the tale when it comes to Erik Brannstrom. Now, when it comes to his NHL stats, he played 2 games this season with the Ottawa Senators, getting 0 points, but that's not too important. The important stats lie with the AHL stats and the World Junior stats. In the AHL, he's played 50 games so far this season, getting 7 goals, 25 assists for 32 points, and those stats are simply amazing, especially for a defenseman and as a 19-year-old. Those are amazing numbers. Same thing goes for the World Junior team when he played with Team Sweden this season. He played 5 games, getting 4 goals for 4 points, but those goals were beautiful, and he was a highlight reel throughout the whole tournament. I would say he was arguably the best defenseman in that tournament and showed the offensive potential that he obviously has. And obviously, Erik Brannstrom will have the comparison of being the major piece in the Stone trade. Those are the expectations for him to fulfill, but I feel like he will in Ottawa. While you already got a great guy like Thomas Chabot there, it's only a matter of time before Brannstrom goes up to the NHL and starts to absolutely dominate. Now heading into the top 3, and at number 3, I have Vitali Kravtsov. He is a center/right winger with the New York Rangers. He is at age 19, Russian-born prospect, and he was drafted 9th overall back in the 2018 NHL draft. And when it comes to prospect potentials, you really can't get much better than Vitali Kravtsov and what he's shown so far in the KHL this season. Now, when it comes to his KHL stats, so far he has played 50 games, getting 8 goals, 13 assists for 21 points. In the playoffs, he played 4 games, getting 2 assists for 2 points. With the World Junior Championships team of Team Russia, he played 7 games, getting 2 goals, 4 assists for 6 points. And those point numbers aren't phenomenal for KHL guys, but when it comes to Kravtsov, those are still fantastic numbers for him to put up. Again, he was kind of an KHL somewhat regular last season. That's why his draft stock was so high. But the potential that Kravtsov has, especially offensively, I think is one of the best that we're seeing right now. Those stats aren't amazing, but they are good enough to where I have a lot of hope of him. When it comes to the New York Rangers, it might take him a couple of years for him to go to North America and become the stud they want him to be, but I think it's only a matter of time before he goes to the New York Rangers and becomes one of them, if not the best player on that team. Now heading on to number 2, and at number 2, I have Cody Glass. He's a center with the Vegas Golden Knights. These guys right here. He's 20 years old, Canadian-born prospect, 6th overall back in the 2017 NHL draft. And with Cody Glass, he's been marinating a little bit in the WHL in the last couple of years, but this next year is the year where he goes to the NHL and starts to destroy worlds, and I feel like that's the potential that Cody Glass will ultimately bring. Now, he was a little bit banged up when it came to his WHL stats. He wasn't completely healthy for the season, but when he did play 38 games, getting 15 goals, 54 assists for a very nice 69 points. With the World Junior team for Team Canada, he was healthy for that, playing 5 games, getting 2 goals, 4 assists for 6 points. And when it came to his overall stats, again, he was banged up a little bit. We didn't get to see him throughout the whole season, but it was a learning process for him. This was pretty much his last year in the WHL, so he will either transition to the AHL or the NHL, but I feel like he's ready for the Vegas Golden Knights. I feel like he's ready for at least a middle 6 spot with the Vegas team, so I am really hopeful for Cody Glass. I am a big fan of him. He is their biggest prospect since they did trade away Nick Suzuki and Erik Brannstrom, so the prospect pool in Vegas did take a blow, but he is still there and still destroying worlds in the WHL. Now, on to number 1, the player that I think is the best prospect right now in the NHL. And obviously, this will change quite a bit as we get the next draft. But in my personal opinion, the number 1 prospect in the entire NHL is Quinn Hughes. He is a defenseman with the Vancouver Canucks. He is at age 19, the only American on this top 10. He was drafted 7th overall back in the 2018 NHL draft. And man, I was already a big fan of Quinn Hughes, but seeing him in the NHL right now, he looks as good as ever. Now, Quinn Hughes started the season in the NCAA with Michigan, playing 32 games, getting 5 goals, 28 assists for 33 points. Excellent stats for a 19-year-old, especially for a defenseman. Very good offensive numbers. In the NHL, so far the Vancouver Canucks, he has played 3 games, getting 1 assist for 1 point. With the World Junior Championships team, he didn't play the best with Team USA, playing 7 games, getting 2 assists for 2 points, but he still was a fantastic guy defensively. When it comes to Quinn Hughes, obviously the offense potential is what everybody goes to, but I feel like the defense is kind of underrated. From what I've seen in the NHL so far, from those 3 games, Quinn Hughes is already very respectful defensively. He already has a lot of presence there, a lot of poise, and obviously a lot of swagger. He used that offensively as well, as he's a power play machine, and we've already seen that so far with the Vancouver Canucks when they've given him time on the power play. He's just been absolutely amazing. Guys like Elias Pettersson and Brock Besser, and he is one of the futures in Vancouver right now. When it comes to the brilliant skating, when it comes to the overall game, Quinn Hughes brings so much to the table already for the Vancouver Canucks, and in the NHL, he's looked fantastic so far. And that's one of the reasons why I think he's the best prospect in the entire NHL. But of course, with this video, I want to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments down below. So let me know, what do you think about my top 10 best NHL prospects? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know your thoughts down below, and of course, let me know who you think is the best prospect in the entire NHL. But if you guys want some more Grav videos just like this one, you can click on this card right here to watch my April edition of my 2019 NHL mock draft. But that is going for today, guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Again, comment down below your thoughts on my top 10 best prospects and which prospect you think is the best in the NHL right now. And I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Goodbye.